I made a community post asking you guys what updates you want Bloxburg to add in fall, and there were a lot of really good replies. So today I'm going over 15 fall updates that Bloxburg players want. If you want your ideas to be featured in future videos, make sure to subscribe so you see when I post. Also, I have a Discord server. If you want to make friends, participate in events, and even have the chance to be in future videos, make sure to join. The link is down in the description. But with that being said, let's start with update 1. We already have a rough autumn tree in Bloxburg, but one thing that trees do in fall is lose their leaves. So having a tree with partial leaves or having a tree with half transparent leaves would be really helpful in adding variety to your landscaping. Shadow puppets wouldn't really have any big use, but it would be a really fun feature to have. If you somehow don't know what shadow puppets are, it's when you put your hand in front of a beam of light and it casts a shadow of your hand on the wall. You can also make shadow puppets using paper cutouts of characters. For Bloxburg, the item would probably be a flashlight on a stand. You can interact with this stand and choose which paper cutout you want to use. A lot of people use floor ivy to give the ground more detail, and while that's great for summer and spring, we still need something for fall. So we need some kind of fallen leaves. You could just use decals to make the fallen leaves, but that's expensive and it's also 2D. A fallen leaves item would be 3D like the floor ivy, which would also be much better at adding detail to your ground. Every fall, Bloxburg adds a pumpkin patch to the map, but the only thing you can do at them is buy pumpkins. So to make the locations a bit more unique, it would be cool to add some kind of pumpkin patch seasonal job. You could work at the reception and weigh people's pumpkins, or maybe you could help customers find pumpkins throughout the patch. Either way, some kind of seasonal job would be really cool, and getting the Excellence Award for maxing out that job would be super difficult. The ability to put things in the back of the Bloxburg pickup truck would be very cool for decorating builds and role-playing. For example, the truck could carry hay bales, crates, boxes, pumpkins, and so much more. It's not really fall related, but I've seen so many pictures of trucks filled with pumpkins at pumpkin patches, so maybe those pictures could be replicated in Bloxburg. Imagine how funny it would be to have random scary events or jump scares around the map. There would be so many pictures and videos of people spotting them. Some good examples of events to add are ghosts hiding behind trees, random sound effects, and maybe even strange random players that stare at you then disappear. That last one would be even more scary if you're in a neighborhood by yourself. If this update was added to Bloxburg, I really hope that they don't mention it in the update log. The players would find out for themselves, which would make an even better reaction. Obviously, every seasonal update needs some new build mode items, so here are a few good ideas. A grandfather clock for old houses, spiders that are similar to the mouse hole, but instead they crawl on walls, round hay bales, and finally, overgrown vines that have the custom placement feature that structurals use. Another important part of every seasonal update is the foods, so here are some more ideas. First up, we have candy corn. Somehow it's still not in the game, even though it's such a popular candy. Next up, we have some kind of Halloween themed soup. I was thinking it could be named Witch's Brew Soup, because witches always have that cauldron they stir. Since we have a cauldron in Bloxburg, you would have to use it to make the soup. And finally, a fall decorated cake. It could just be carrot cake or some kind of orange cake with candy corn in it. Vehicles are a really fun part of Bloxburg, so why not add more? For example, a tractor. If you've been to a pumpkin patch before, you've probably seen one of those tractor rides where you sit on hay bales in the trailer. Trailers would probably be pretty difficult to add to Bloxburg, but tractors wouldn't. For another idea, if the developers are trying to be a bit creative, maybe they could add some kind of pumpkin vehicle. They have done creative vehicles before, like the couch car, so I could see a pumpkin vehicle fitting in well. The bug catching feature is really good for collecting rare items, but eventually everyone will have all of the bugs, which will make the feature become useless. So releasing limited time seasonal insects would give people a reason to keep using the bug catching feature. A good Halloween bug would be spiders. They would crawl around on trees and you would use the net to catch them. There would also be multiple rarities of them and the legendaries would glow. If you've ever looked at these two stoves, you've probably thought that they cook multiple things at once, but they don't. Giving these stoves the ability to cook more than one thing at a time would be very helpful. It's not really fall related, but fall is a seasonal update that releases seasonal foods, and most people are trying to stock up on as much food as possible. So this would be a very nice feature for them. Every Halloween, the Bloxburg city has the same decorations, so adding more decorations or newer decorations would make it look much better. Another feature that could make the city feel more alive is trick-or-treating. NPCs would be dressed up in costumes, and the people at each building would be handing out candy. Since the NPCs would be dressed up, adding Halloween costumes would also give the players a way to dress up. You would equip these costumes from dressers and use them to trick-or-treat in the city. Having the ability to carve your own custom drawings into pumpkins would be a really fun feature. There would be a pop-up where you could draw whatever you want, and once you finish, that drawing would carve into the pumpkin. I can definitely see how some people could use this not so appropriately, but it would still be a cool activity for everyone else. And finally, Bloxburg should add a maze to the map. We already had a maze in the previous fall update, so adding a new one with more features and a cooler reward would make players more excited to check it out. And that was 15 fall updates that Bloxburg players want. Make sure to comment your favorite ideas or give some of your own ideas. My social medias are down in the description if you want to follow me there. But that's it from me. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next video.